everyone, it's Matt Paul here, and I'm super excited to show you Arturia's recreation of the classic vintage CP70 electric grand piano. Let's dive into it. CP70V is our brand new virtual emulation of a classic electric piano from the 70s. Produced from 1976 to the mid-80s, the CP70 combined the electric action and strings of a grand piano amplified through piezoelectric pickups to create a beautiful sounding instrument that was both easy to record and to amplify. Designed to be highly portable and easy to use when touring, its distinctively bright sound has graced many of the world's top studios. Embraced by artists such as Keith Emerson, George Duke, Peter Gabriel, and many others, its sound has shone as much in the studio as it has on stage. Today we'll test Arturia's recreation of this all-time classic, but first let's listen to a few of its presets to get an idea of how it sounds. Now, let's look in detail at what's under the hood of our instrument. To make CP70V sound authentic, Arturia used a combination of sampling and circuit modeling. Deeply sampled 8 dynamic layers and releases, along with key and pedal noises, are run through a detailed modeled EQ, tremolo, and output stage to give us this classic timbre. The front panel is simple yet crucial to the famous CP70 sound. It doesn't give us much, but it could make a difference in our sound. Besides volume control, we have a simple 3-band EQ that can help you set your sound in a mix. You can increase the treble to make it brighter. Now reduce the treble, add some bass, and take out a little bit of the middle frequency for a warmer sound. There's also a tremolo circuit to get the famous wobbly vibe. You can control its speed and depth to get the desirable modulation level. Combine everything to your taste to get your favorite sound. Okay, now let's enter CP70V's extra functions to make things a bit more interesting. Simply press the Advanced button in the upper right corner to open additional parameters. Inside, we have 2 main sections, Velocity Curve, which controls how expressive you play, and Advanced Settings, which allows you to alter the mechanical and acoustic parts of the instrument. First, let's have a look at the Velocity section. Right now, the Velocity Curve is set to Linear, where pressing a key harder determines which sampled velocity layer we hear, and the sound gets louder as the velocity increases. But we don't have to stop there. Arturia provides users with a customizable velocity curve, which we can either choose from velocity presets or create our own. For example, let's choose a logarithmic curve. With this one, we have to apply less force to make our sound louder. On the other hand, exponential will give us the opposite result. Grabbing and dragging the arrow in the middle will make our curve more or less close to linear. A fixed curve will give us a stable velocity level regarding how strongly we press our keys. And as I've already mentioned, we don't have to stop here. We can make our own customized curves to fit our needs. Click on the curve to create an additional point and drag the sides to set the dynamic response. Draw it, shape it, sculpt it, and when you're done, simply press Save in the Curves Preset section to store it. Get as much expression as you need, experiment, and make this instrument yours. Continuing with advanced settings on the right side, which gives us extra control of our piano, here we have 4 sections. Let's start with Instrument. The tuning sets the global tuning of the instrument. Detune drifts our CP's pitch, which is a great tool to help us age our sound by emulating old gear's unstable pitch. Timbre shift will shift our instrument's timbre to make it either softer or more metallic. Let's try it out. It's set to 0 by default, and as you can see, by increasing the value, the sound gets thinner and gets its buzz. We can also go below 0 to make it sound warmer and softer. Dynamic range sets the volume difference between quiet and loud notes. The more we have, the greater difference we get between playing our keys soft and hard. Next, we have a direct output section. Volume mirrors our front panel knob and sets the direct output level of our instrument as captured through the electric pickups. Now, let's switch the tremolo sync button to make our tremolo in sync with our project. It could give you perfect in-time modulation of your tremolo effect, which could be quite practical in your sound production. Change the vibrato speed section or move the knob on the front panel to get different tempo divisions. Alright, we're heading to the microphones section. In addition to the piezoelectric pickups, we also used a pair of high-end ribbon microphones to capture the stereo image of the CP70, which gives you a more classical piano sound with a wider perspective. For that purpose, we have 2 controls: volume, which controls the volume of our stereo mic signal, and stereo width, which then sets the stereo image of the signal from mono to full stereo. Combine these 2 to your preferences to achieve the best result for your mix. The envelope section is super straightforward. We've got an attack envelope which sets the time for the volume of our electric piano to get from 0 to our set level after we press the key. As you can see, the bigger the value, the longer it takes our sound to get to our maximum volume. At 100%, it turns our electric piano into a pad. On the other hand, the release phase starts when the key is released. If we set it to 0, our natural sound stops right after we take our fingers from the keyboard. But if we set it higher, we will get a fading out effect on the notes we played. Set the time of the envelopes to creatively shape the sound. Okay, we got to the final part of our advanced section, noises. CP70 as an instrument has acoustic and electric components that can produce various noises that are essential parts of the instrument's unique sound. The natural release part starts to work when the key has been released. It sets the volume of the sound's natural decay. Arturio also carefully recorded the mechanical noises of the instrument. Key release to get the sound that hammers make after returning to their starting point and striking a string, and sustain pedal sound that when you press the pedal sets the sound of all dampers pulling away from the strings. Combine it with the natural release to add liveliness to your sound. Alright, now that we've finished with the advanced settings, let's take a look at the effects section. It's rich, versatile, and helps to enhance your sound even further. 4 pedal slots, each one of which can have one of 13 carefully selected effects: reverb, delays, modulation effects, distortion, and dynamic effects with EQ. Let's take a closer look at them. The modulation effects section has a chorus, that enhances the stereo field of our unit even further. We can also use a stereo pan effect, It sounds quite similar to our tremolo, but with the possibility to change the shape of the wave. Chorus and flanger will add a sonic jet-like texture to the sound. And Wah Wah is here to bring that funk back on stage. The pedal rig has 3 different delays on board. Each one has its own character. Choose which one works better for you. Add reverb to make it even more cosmic or to settle it in a real environment. Check the presets to have a starting point or some inspiration for your creations. We can put the distortion in front of our chain to overdrive the signal or simply to add the fuzz to it with a wave folder. For example, Sounds massive. As you can see, CP70V could fit not only classical needs. With all this extra gear on top, you can be really creative with the outcome. If you want to bulk up the sound, just add a compressor. An EQ will help to get rid of any unnecessary frequencies. Up next, we have an amplifier section. Here we can choose between two types of amps, twin amp and rotary speaker, or no amp. A rotary speaker gives us phasing modulation, and a twin amp is for immediate warmth and crunch. Convolution reverb at the end could be a great addition to the sound to squeeze the maximum out of our instrument. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope that this tutorial helped you understand the CP70V and its best features. Give it a try, enjoy the experience, and as always, get creative with your ideas. If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe and leave a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.